police need your help. They're looking for this man in a Red Sox mask. Especially concerning, they say that he went into an unlocked front door while the owners were on the back deck entertaining last night at 11 o'clock. Detectives say he stole car keys and cash from a pocketbook. Officers say he was then seen taking off from the scene in an older gray sedan. Well, President Trump is coming under growing pressure from lawmakers to respond to allegations that Russia offered bounties for killing American troops in Afghanistan. House Democrats had their own briefing today at the White House. Democrats are accusing the president of bowing to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Republicans have mostly defended the president, arguing along with the White House that the intelligence was unverified. A Supreme Court ruling could open the door to more public funding for religious education. The court ruled today in favor of Montana parents who want to use a state scholarship program to send their children to religious schools. The High Court said no state is required to subsidize private education, but if it does, it cannot disqualify religious ones. The dissenting justices said they fear an entanglement between church and state. One outpouring of love and condolences today after news of the death of Carl Reiner. The 98-year-old writer, actor, and director died of natural causes at his home in Beverly Hills. Chris Martinez looks back at his life and legacy.
Every morning, I pick up my newspaper, get the obituary section, and see if I'm listed. If I'm not, I'll have my breakfast.
Carl Reiner has made us laugh for more than 60 years. Born in the Bronx in 1922, he first gained national fame as a writer and performer on Sid Caesar's Your Show of Shows in the 50s.
Last month you did the same thing. You bet $100 that Columbus's 3 ships that sailed to America were the Nina, the Pinta, and the Maria Riva.
His co-writers on the live sketch comedy series included future luminaries Neil Simon and Mel Brooks. He and Brooks remained best friends into their golden years. The pair teamed up to form a legendary comic duo. Their most famous routine, the 2,000-year-old man.
Many, many hundreds of years ago, most men had more than one wife.
Yeah.
Did you practice polygamy in those days?
I never practiced it. I was perfect at it.
In the 60s, Reiner created the show Head of the Family, based on his life as a comedy writer. But it flopped, so he tinkered with it, recast it, and it became
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Ceding the lead to Dick Van Dyke, Reiner took on the role of pompous boss Alan Brady.
Lily, is that you, Lillian?
Yes, Alan.
The Dick Van Dyke Show ran on CBS for 5 years, earning 15 Emmys.
I can't write jokes. There are guys who write jokes that I would love to be able to write jokes, but I have a funny bent in my head, so I will go straight, and all of a sudden something will occur to me that will make it funny.
Reiner also found success on the big screen, directing movies, including 4 with Steve Martin and co-starring in the Ocean's 11 franchise.
We're just supposed to walk out of there with $150 million in cash.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was also the father of a famous son, actor-director Rob Reiner. It was Rob's mother, Carl's beloved wife Estelle, that delivered one of the most memorable lines in movie history.
I'll have what she's having.
In his twilight years, Reiner remained sharp, tweeting, writing, and performing. In 2017, he and his famous nonagenarian friends starred in the HBO documentary, If You're Not in the Obit, Eat Breakfast.
I'm faking vitality. He's got vitality.
Together with his famous friends, Carl Reiner showed the world age is just a number, and funny is forever. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
So much joy. One of the greats there. I love that line. I never practiced it. I perfected it.
A couple of the funniest guys we've ever had around here.
As good as it gets.
Man, what a career, long life. So love to see that. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on around here this evening and the story of this month and this first half. First half of the year is over. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing this year, but where do we stand in Boston? It's been drier than average and warmer than average. The last few days notwithstanding. It depends on what town you're in. Some have seen over 5 inches of rainfall this week. Boston has not, still running a 1-inch deficit for the month of June. And in terms of temperature, it was a warm month across the board. In the top 20 warmest for most of New England, and so far this year, Boston is sitting at its 7th warmest year on record, 5th warmest in Providence. Really, the only cool stretch was mid-April to mid-May. So what do we have tonight? Well, we have our showers and downpours that are starting to break apart this evening. Still some rain in New Hampshire in particular that's coming down at a decent clip. particularly around the Epping area. Portsmouth got doused earlier on tonight. Into Raymond, getting some heavier rainfall, some downpours from Peterborough, Harrisville over toward the Swansea area. And so overall, this is beneficial rain. New Hampshire was the driest part of the region over the last couple of months leading into this stretch. Some heavy rain that's right on 95 as well into Attleboro, getting some downpours. And then over toward the Cape, there's one lone shower right over Route 6 in Hyannis and making its way over toward Yarmouth. All right, so what do we have as the culprit for all of this? It's a big upper-level low that's been spinning across New England. It's trapped. The jet stream's not pushing it. You see that counterclockwise swirl that's right over our neck of the woods, and it'll be here for one more day before we start to see some more sunshine. But tonight, 60s. A couple of showers out there, some fog, some mist, very little wind. It's been very calm, even with the stormy weather. And then tomorrow we'll basically follow the same formula. I think we'll get a little more sunshine than today. It'll be a little bit warmer than today. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy morning gives way to a blend of sun and clouds. By lunchtime, the downpours are starting to pop up, and we'll see some areas of thunderstorms as well. Like today, I think the core of the activity will be more towards central, western Mass, and Connecticut, with a lower risk of downpours near the South Shore, Cape Cod, and the islands. So the temperatures, they'll be in the 70s. I think a little milder feel, still quite humid outside, and mostly middle 70s with enough sun, some upper 70s out there. It's kind of that pattern where it's muggy enough, the sun comes out, you say, whoa, it's a warm day. And then the sun goes away for a little bit, and you say, maybe not so much. But on Thursday, it's warm across the board. We get more sun. That upper low leaves will be well into the 80s. It will still be quite humid outside, so it will be very much a midsummer kind of day for us. Trying to get some outdoor dining in. Tomorrow evening, watching that chance for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Thursday looks drier. Friday, the main risk is inland, well inland to the west. Otherwise, I think we'll be dry near the coast. Dew points, they'll stay up through Friday. A little bit drier for Saturday as we get to the 4th of July. The culprit for that, one more thing of interest this week. On Friday, a backdoor cold front is going to move down out of the Gulf of Maine. It'll get quite breezy at the coastline in particular. This will usher in some cooler air and a chance for some showers and storms firing up on that backdoor cold front, particularly for the inland locales. So there's the full 7-day. We'll be watching that northeast breeze freshen up on Friday. Saturday for the 4th of July looks dry and pleasant in the 70s. Sunday a little warmer, a couple of thunderstorms in the afternoon into the 80s. Same idea for Monday as we start next week.
Sounds pretty good. Eric, thank you. Well, it's a Boston icon, and it's reopening. How Quincy Market plans to get underway in the COVID-19 era. Quincy Market and Faneuil Hall Marketplace are reopening tomorrow. Both retail and restaurant operations at the well-known Boston destination will be resuming. There will be different hours for each operation, so check carefully. Pushcart merchants will also be open to sell gifts. The retail group says they will be operating with cleaning per the CDC guidelines. Well, she is the definition of ambitious. The Milford mother and first-generation college student graduating tonight, and why she's not done yet. The ex-cop turned Golden State Killer will spend the rest of his life in prison with no chance of parole after pleading guilty to 13 murders and dozens of rapes. Joseph DeAngelo Jr. terrorized California in the 70s and the 80s, evading capture for decades until his arrest in 2018. As Tracy Smith reports, the trial was held in a large auditorium to allow the proceeding to continue safely in the COVID-19 era.
When he was wheeled into the hearing yesterday, Joseph DeAngelo hardly resembled the agile young man who sneaked into homes to commit murder and dozens of rapes. He repeated the same plea.
Guilty.
Over and over again.
Guilty.
Prosecutors detailed his horrific crimes.
After raping her, the defendant fired his handgun into the back of Deborah's head.
The defendant covered Jane Doe's face with towels. He unbound her legs, and he raped her.
DeAngelo's guilty plea will spare him the death penalty. In exchange, he admitted to 13 murders and some 50 rapes, spanning 6 California counties over 2 decades. We spoke to DeAngelo's 5th victim, Jane Carson Sandler, back in 2017 for 48 hours. Her 3-year-old son was in the home when she was raped.
When the rape took place, I wasn't paying any attention to it because all I was thinking about is, where's my son?
D'Angelo roamed free for 40 years until 2018, when investigators used DNA evidence to track him through a popular genealogy website.
Every one of those victims deserves justice.
Sacramento County District Attorney Anne Marie Schubert.
These women and their significant others standing with them to take back that power was really, it was really overwhelming to see.
Among those to stand, Chris Pedretti, one of D'Angelo's youngest rape victims, at just 15 years old.
He's having to live with the fact that we're hearing every single thing that he said and what he did to us, and we're not taking it anymore.
Tracy Smith, CBS News, Southern California.
The widow of a disabled veteran who died at the Chelsea Soldiers' Home says the state has rejected her claims for death benefits. She told us it's because her husband's death was not related to his disability. WBZ Chief Investigator Cheryl Fiandaca got some answers.
Got 3 Purple Hearts, Bronze Star, 2 Bronze Stars.
You can hear the pride in Joseph Terenzio's daughter's voice. The Army Staff Sergeant had a shadow box filled with medals. His favorite was the Silver Star that he earned for saving more than 27 lives.
A true hero. Very strong man he was.
In March, Joseph was recuperating from surgery at the Soldiers' Home in Chelsea. 100% disabled, he was the first to die of COVID-19. Joseph was married for more than 7 decades to Delma, who recently applied for his pension and the state annuity, but was denied both.
If everybody dies like this, and what do we do? What do we do for the government to give us something?
Due to the fact that my father's death could have been prevented, I believe it's on the VA to approve his claim. The fact that my father went to a place to heal and never came out is truly disappointing.
In a letter, the State Department of Veterans Services said his cause of death was not related to his service disability, even though it made him more vulnerable to the deadly virus. The Disabled American Veterans of Massachusetts says it's working to change the law to allow families of veterans who died of COVID-19 to be given the benefits their loved ones earned.
Legislation needs to be changed, and I believe that right now is the proper time to address it. I do believe that we'd be able to get the support to get it passed.
Give me my money and take care of us.
Veterans advocates say families should appeal and get letters from their loved ones' primary care doctors showing their disability contributed to their cause of death. Cheryl Fiandaca, WBZ News.
We will keep an eye on that story. Cheryl, thank you. Well, should a teacher with a compromised immune system return to class this fall? And if someone from out of state moves into your home, what should you do to make sure that everyone is safe? WBZ's Dr. Malika Marshall is answering your coronavirus questions tonight.
Paul writes, I see so many people grab the front of their mask to adjust it. Is that a potential problem? So, Paul, we really should try to avoid touching our masks because if our hands are contaminated, we could contaminate our masks, or if our masks are contaminated, we could then contaminate our hands. But, you know, we're human. So there are going to be times when we adjust or touch our masks, oftentimes when they slip below your nose because you need to try to put it above your nose. But I would say do the best you can and just make sure that you wash your hands frequently and use hand sanitizer. Our next question comes from Fat Hal, who asks, my wife and I are over 65 and our son is moving back in with us from New York City. He has no COVID-19 symptoms. Should we all quarantine for 14 days? So Hal, there is a risk having your son who lives in New York now come and live with you here in Massachusetts. He could ask for a coronavirus test before he leaves New York, but again, that just sort of gives you a moment in time. He could become exposed before he actually arrives here. And Massachusetts is still requesting that people from other states, especially states with higher cases of coronavirus, self-quarantine for 14 days when they get here to Massachusetts, including the people that they're staying with. Shayna writes, I'm an elementary classroom teacher and take medication that compromises my immunity. Is it safe for me to go back into the classroom? So that's a question that a great number of teachers are asking themselves, because it's not just older teachers, it's teachers with asthma and diabetes and a whole host of other conditions that might put them at greater risk. Most teachers also say that especially with younger kids, it's virtually impossible to get them to socially distance. I know that with some high-risk teachers, schools are going to be asking them to do more of the virtual online learning rather than the in-classroom learning, but I don't think anybody has a great answer right now. So talk to your physicians and talk to your school administrators to find out what their plan is so far. Our next question comes from Samantha, who asks, would you send your child to Tampa, Florida this fall to start college? Again, a really hard question to answer. As you know, Florida is going in the wrong direction when it comes to coronavirus cases. And I know that Florida universities are planning on opening up in the fall, but I think only time will tell. So we'll have to see what happens over the next few weeks. I think you need to find out from your child's college what precautions they're taking to make sure that their students and their faculty are safe, and find out what online options they might be offering for those students who don't feel comfortable returning.
Malika, thank you for the advice as always. The coronavirus pandemic, meantime, has forced a fall tradition to be put on hold. King Richard's Fair will not open for the 2020 season. Organizers of the annual festival in Carver say they will be back in September 2021 for their 40th anniversary season. Well, the Kowloon up in Saugus is reformatting to fit the corona age. They unveiled their drive-in movie theater tonight in their massive parking lot on Route 1. Tonight they showed E.T. There's $20 per parking spot, or you could get a table there. Movies will be shown Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays.
Oh, say, can you see?
This is New at 10, a special graduation at MassBay Community College. That Milford woman kicking off the ceremonies with the National Anthem is also a graduate with some real-life learning credits. The mother of 4 and first-generation college student is all in. As WBZ's Juli McDonald reports, she is working a full-time job while also being a full-time student.
Though the MassBay campus was quiet Tuesday evening, online, the school community was celebrating the achievements of more than 670 new graduates. Students like Dinora Torres, who worked hard to get here.
I had to be the stay-at-home mom, had to be the teacher, and then I had to be a student. So it was a little bit stressful.
Navigating this semester while also seeing the stress and sickness of COVID inspired Torres when it came to commencement.
Oh, say, can you see?
Her performance was moving, as is her pride.
I'm a Hispanic mother with my brown skin, I mean, like, they don't realize that this is the song that gave the way of America. Like, this is like the song, and I'm the one that's singing it. Like, that's a privilege. It's such a big deal.
The 29-year-old accounting major is still finishing up some classes with love and support from her 4 greatest accomplishments every step of the way.
My oldest daughter, she always says, "You're such a great mom." And when she says things like that, I'm just like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm doing it right, because my daughters can see that.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Juli McDonald, WBZ News.